Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today I'm going to walk you through this mixed media piece, and if you would like a real-time version of this, you can find it up now in Critique Club. If you want to join Critique Club, if you've been thinking about it, now is a great time to join because the price is going up in April 2025. So if you want to lock in that $5 a month rate, sign up before April 1st and you will get that price for as long as you remain a member. Critique Club has over 150 real-time art lessons. There's monthly creative prompts, and I add 2 new art lessons in every month. Plus, you can upload your artwork for feedback from me. So if that sounds good and you want to lock it in before the price increase next month, make sure you click the link in the video description and sign up to Critique Club today. I'm starting off by just doing a sketch using Derwent Graphitin pencil on my watercolor paper. The watercolor paper I'm using is a rough textured cotton paper. It's by Hahnemühle, and I thought it would be really nice for this granulating paint because the rougher the texture, the more you're going to see those pigment particles settle out and you'll get a little bit more dramatic of effect. Now, these are the Mission Tourmaline watercolors. They are a fairly new product, and viewer Laura Burgess shared her stash with me and made me this gorgeous little palette. And I've used it before in the Snowy Cathedral painting if you want to find that one and have a look, and I'll try to remember to link that up. But I wanted to give these another shot in a big painting, and I took this photo you can see up in the corner at Sandy Point in Maine, and it's this beach I love to go to, and the kind of parking area and fields had flooded a bit and iced over, and I thought it was just so barren and gorgeous, and I took a photo. Now, I was trying to stick to the colors in the Mission Tourmaline range, so they have a set of 36, and then she's added an additional or a set of 32, and she added an additional few colors to that to round it out. So there's, I think, like 40 colors in all. So, you know, there's quite a range of colors there. You have to definitely go by a swatch of these if you're gonna pan these out and use them, because they look really different in the pans than how they paint out. And I find that to be the case with a lot of granulating watercolors. Now, if you want to play with granulating colors, but you don't want to buy any new paints, I have a blog post that goes over the colors that you probably already have in your stash that do granulate, so that you can make your own mixes that will rival any of these store-bought super granulating color mixes. So I will share that in the video description as well if you want to check that out. And that's what I did to begin, and I like that palette just as well as any of the fancier colors that I've tried. So honestly, use what you have and see if that works, and then if not, you can always buy a tube or two as needed. I think this set is mostly available, these colors are mostly available in a set of 32 on like I've seen them on Amazon, I've seen them on eBay. You definitely want to shop around because they are not cheap, they are expensive, and you know, you want to make sure you like this type of paint, I think, before investing. But just my 2 cents. You can do whatever you want with your money. My goal here with this first layer is to fill the paper and try to get some interesting texture, because as you see from the reference photo, I think it's a beautiful photo. I did shift the composition a bit because the tree was right dead center. I couldn't really get a photo because of the way there were some cars parked in the parking lot. I couldn't get so I could have that tree shifted over a little bit more with the boulders in front, so I just kind of did that when I sketched it out. The fun thing about sketching with the Graphitin pencils when you're using a granulating watercolor set or granulating colors, it just really kind of disappears, and it mimics that texture. I find that's another thing you could do too. You could use the Derwent Graphitin pan paints or the water soluble charcoal. It's got a very similar feel, and because Derwent is so prevalent in a lot of the stores in the USA and Europe, they're pretty affordable. So that's a nice option too. It does, the Graphitin can, when you use the pan paints, can have a little bit of a sheen to it, so that's something to consider, but I really like them. I think they're really nice. So I'm using the NeoArt colors. These just had a huge price drop at Blick. They're down to, for the set of 48, $129, and for the individual sticks, $255. Plus you're coupon eligible still at Blick, so you can save between 10 and 15% depending on the coupon you find. I get a couple coupons I'll drop in the video description for you as well. I really like them. The result, opinions are mixed on these crayons. I like crayons, so having a light fast art crayon for me is just awesome. And I'll take that any day of the week. Obviously not everybody likes them, but boy oh boy, I'm kind of tempted to grab some more while they're on sale and coupon eligible, but I think they're a fantastic product, and I love the texture I can get with them. And plus, I think I like crayon style, pastel style media as well. So anyway, that's my opinion. I did a full review on those crayons if you want to check it out, and comparing them to other products that are similar. If you're interested in buying them but you're not quite sure yet, and that's on my YouTube channel, and I'll try to link that up down below. I should be taking notes as I'm doing this. I kind of am trying to kind of thread the needle a bit between keeping everything really abstract and just moody, and also having enough details in here that you can tell what it is. And as I was painting this, I was kind of thinking, this would have been a fun collage. I think this this layout, this composition would have worked really well as like torn paper for like the banks with the snow and the grasses sticking out and the sky and the islands, and then like cut paper for the boulders, using like jelly prints and stuff. I think this would have been a phenomenal collage. So maybe that will inspire you to have a take on this painting where you collage it, or maybe from one of your photos from one of your favorite places. Winter is not my favorite season. I'm not a big fan of the cold, but I just had to get out and see the water, and I was just feeling so cooped up. And it's still beautiful, even though you walk outside and like on the coast, and it just takes your breath away because it's windy and cold and raw. There's something beautiful about that rawness. Now, because the paper's so rough, I was trying to put in some little swirls of, how like when you have an icy puddle and it freezes and thaws, and then you get these little air pockets, and then they kind of like swirl around. That's kind of what I was trying to get with a crayon, and I don't know if I really achieved that where the paper's so rough I got kind of a textured line, but I kind of like that line, and I like the Z or S type composition that pulls your eye down the path and through. I really like how that worked out. In fact, the more I look at this painting, the more I like it. At first I wasn't sure, and this is kind of when you're creating tutorials that you want to inspire other people with, you're definitely thinking about the end result and if other people are going to enjoy it. But the more I look at this painting, the more I personally like it. Whether it's going to appeal to others, I'm not sure. I decided to kind of go my own way here and throw some of these sea oats. They look like wheat, in the foreground, just to give it a little bit of scale. And I'm not sure. I like it, actually. I do like it. I'm not sure if it does add the scale that I'm hoping, because like that's exactly like I'm putting these sea oats in the parking lot. There really isn't anything like that there. But I thought it would just kind of, add a little bit of scale. I don't know. But I like it. And I did go in with some colored pencils. And if you don't have any of those crayons, you could definitely use a colored pencil, like sharpen it and use it on its side, so you have that wide tip of colored pencil lead. That would work just fine. You could also use pastel. Like I think even like if you had I think like not neo pastel. Well, those would work. But I was thinking the Prismacolor new pastels, those drier, harder pastels. I think that would work really well in place of the NeoArt, just because of the texture, the firmness of it. I think it would give you a very similar line. Or you could even use like China markers. You could use kids crayons too. They're just not going to have quite the pigment. They're going to be a little softer and waxier, and you might not get the texture that you're going to get with these harder art crayons. But yeah, I was adding some little, there's these little spots around the boulders. It's basically gravel that's kind of like poked through the surface of the ice. And I like that. Plus I thought it gave it a little bit of, I like the interesting marks in the foreground. And also I thought the ice needed to be a little bit darker, especially around that big boulder on the left, because if you squint and look at the photo, you can see the value or the lightness of that boulder is much lighter. So I wanted some more of that rugged snow, and I wanted some actual texture. So I'm using watercolor ground, and this is the titanium white Daniel Smith watercolor ground. And the reason I'm using this is because I can paint over it if I need to. If I want to pull some grasses up over it, I can. I've had this container for several years, and the trick to keeping this in good working order is that if it starts to stiffen up, what you want to do is add some water to it and stir it up really good. Not a ton, but just to keep that consistency that it had when you first bought it. And I haven't had any issues keeping it well, so that I can keep using it. And what I use is, I don't have anything fancy, but I do, like when I have leftover water in the tea kettle, I just pour it into a bottle, and that's what I would use to add to anything I need to thin downstairs. So I don't even go and buy distilled water. I just, take water I've boiled and that goes into my spray bottles and my little like water squeezy bottles, things like that. So I know that if I do need to add water to something, I just use it from those bottles and they won't have any bacteria or anything, because we have well water. And also I'm kind of wondering if maybe the well water makes my paints granulate less than it would if I had city water. I haven't done an experiment like that, but I have used water softener tablets and like put them in my water jug that I fill my water buckets up with, and it does seem like I get more granulation when I soften the water. But it's weird, because I would think that waters with a lot of minerals in it, like our water normally has, would granulate more. So I don't know. I've used salt water too when I'm using super granulating colors, and that does make them granulate much more and be much more vibrant. I don't think that would harm your paper, but there are some artists that think it might, just because salt can be corrosive on certain items, but I don't think salt's corrosive on paper or fabric. But anyway, that's just something you might want to experiment. I love experimenting. I think that's what keeps you from getting burnt out in your art. And that's one thing I love about Critique Club, is that I'm always experimenting, trying different medias. I feel like there's something for everyone, whether you're a watercolor painter, a collage artist, a mixed media painter, just somebody that wants to kind of get your synapses tingling with different art ideas. That's kind of what my whole basis of Critique Club was, and also a place where artists can share their work and have a very supportive environment. And feel free to, if you're in Critique Club, to comment on other members' work and offer support. That's what we're there for. We're there to grow and to become better artists and paint more. I think we all want to paint more, don't we? I wanted to put some little grasses poking up out of the ice, and this was a little bit tricky because the ice is kind of glossy in areas, and some things it wants to like reflect, but it also wants to cast a shadow. And I was kind of I should have noted when I took the picture where the sun was. The sun's obviously, it's pretty high above. But I am seeing a shadow cast, or maybe it's more of a reflection. I guess it's more of a reflection cast below each of these objects. It's when you're doing photography, the best time to do it is late in the day or early in the morning, so you get those more dramatic shadows. This was definitely a midday situation here, so I don't have the dramatic shadows. I'm really kind of leaning heavily on the value range that I see, because it's not a colorful picture, so I got to lean on the values. I want to maybe boost up some of the colors I see, which I tend to do all the time because I love color. Here's where I'm cheap, and I don't want to break my brand new NeoArt pastels, but I have these old Caran d'Ache Swiss color pastels, so I'm breaking those. They feel just about the same. They're just probably not as light fast, but if I just want to get a broad swath of texture, I think they're going to be just fine for that. So then I thought, you know what? I'm going to break all these, stick them in the drawer with my NeoArts, and then I'll have that, different texture that I can grab and use. And then I'm using my stuff, right? And the Swiss colors are so cheap. They're like $10 for 15 colors. And honestly, if you're not sure if you like art crayons, I would say get those, see what you think. And if you like those, then consider the NeoArt ones, the NeoColor ones, or the NeoArt crayons. I love that teal too. There's so many really pretty sophisticated colors in the NeoArt range that you don't see in other art crayons. So, but you can pick and choose. You could have some cheaper ones like the NeoColor ones, pick and choose the different colors that are in the NeoArts. Dig through your kids' crayon box, see what they have. Honestly, just make art. Just make art. Really, you don't need to overthink it. I think sometimes we think that, well, what if this is the best thing we ever make and we made it with bad materials? Well, if it's the best thing you ever made and you absolutely loved it, you can go and buy the great materials and make it again. Or you could take a photo or scan it and you'll have a reproduction of it. Or, use some UV spray on it just to give it that little extra protection. But don't let things like that keep you from making art, right? You got to make the art. Don't worry about using the perfect thing, the best thing. Grab something that will work and use it. That's like when I used to do a lot of scrapbooking, I would find that I was spending so much time trying to decide what to use that I decided to do a new tactic, and I call it whatever works, whatever I find first that works. And I think that's a great way to approach your art and to make more art. So if you would like to see a real-time version of this, please check out Critique Club, link in the video description. If you signed up before April 1st, you will lock in that $5 a month rate. It is going up to $7.50 a month next month, so be sure to grab it now if you want that lower price. Thanks for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.